Inspire, motivate, challenge.
I'll just go straight into the interview.
Okay.
So I'd just like you to tell us about yourself, your career journey, what you are doing now, some of the highlights of your career, and so forth.
Started my journey way back from Ife, studying pharmacy. My choice of pharmacy was largely influenced by my preference subjects in the secondary school, largely science, very good in science. So the option left was between pharmacy, medicine, and engineering. Obviously, my parents' preference is for either medicine or pharmacy. I decided on pharmacy because of my phobia for blood and some other stuffs in mainstream medicine which are not of interest to me. So I eventually got admitted to Ife to study pharmacy, and it was all fun and all rigor. Rigor in the sense that pharmacy in Ife, you just have to almost study 24/7 and all that, but within those rigor, I see created time for some other extracurricular activities and socials while on the campus. And I'm glad that at the end of the day, I didn't have any cost to repeat any of the years or have a receipt, so to put it. So it was a great experience for me, prepared me to cope under pressure very well. And as soon as I completed my internship at NYSC, part of the option was either to stay in Nigeria or to actually travel out. As a matter of fact, majority of my peers then were planning, or some had even traveled out of the country. I wanted wherever I want to go, I have to be able to practice my profession. And Canada was top on the agenda. As I was processing Canada, Glaxo, one of the leading pharma companies then, advertised for the role of medical representative, and I applied. I went through the different stages of the interview, and after the last stage, I wasn't very much interested because I had my eyes to see travel out. Then the then HR manager, Mrs. Abiodun, I still call him mommy, saw my name. Her husband had worked with my uncle, so she lives in Surulere, I live in Surulere. He picked up the final offer letter, and took the trouble to look for my house, to drop the letter of the offer letter from Glaxo. So I was moved by this, and I was compelled to consider that offer and to tarry on the processing of my trip to Canada. So that was what happened. Started my career in Glaxo. Then there were a lot of peer pressure in Lagos. After all said and done, we were asked, where would you like to be posted to? I was under intense peer pressure in Lagos. So I decided, look, I needed a break, just post me anywhere you feel. And that landed me in Maiduguri, Borno State. It landed me in Maiduguri, Borno State, because I just wanted a break from Lagos, staying with parents and doing some other stuff. I just felt, look, if I had to stay in Nigeria, let me take a break from this environment. And I landed in Maiduguri. But that was the beginning of great things to happen, so to put it. Because in any job, when you start your first job, and for where you want to build a career, your first steps, your early steps, your baby steps, how you quickly, make good of the opportunity that comes your way, are actually very key to your career progression in the organization. So getting to Maiduguri, I met with a manager who later turned a friend and a mentor. And there he put me through so many rudiments on how to succeed on the field. Rudiments of life and what have you, what I need to do to be clearly guided and all that. So that really helped me a lot to have a good footing, a good start. And within months, I already had my flat. I already have it well furnished. So, and I was already living an independent life, setting goals, and trying to achieve the goals I've set for myself, for both the corporate and personal. So it was a good start for me, based on the advice I got from my predecessor in the territory that I inherited. So having gone through all that, I had several opportunities within Glaxo there to win several awards and eventually to become a product manager. After about 3 years, I became a product manager, got posted from Maiduguri to Lagos, and then started a new life in Lagos, so to put it. And in Lagos, as a product manager, there were several opportunities for me again to learn the rudiments of marketing. I really caught my teeth in marketing while in Lagos. Shortly after that, I became a good product manager, and there were opportunities to do so many other things. Change portfolio. I moved from ethical product to OTC product within Glaxo then to handle Decavit as part of my portfolio and all that. So it gave me breadth of experience, not only for ethical products but also for over-the-counter or FMCG marketing. Within a few months after I became a group product manager, there was a merger with SmithKline Bisham, which now metamorphosed into GlaxoSmithKline.
Sorry, what year was that?
That was year 2000.
Okay.
Year 2000, yes, we went through that. It was 1999 to 2000, but I think everything were concluded in 2001. So it was another ball game altogether. Now I had experience of mergers and acquisitions and all that. The intrigues that follow all those, no job was secured. You just have to go through so many selection process and what have you. But eventually I put through. I became, in fact, I inherited, I was assigned the biggest portfolio in the company. I used to handle gastro portfolio and OTC. At the conclusion of the selection process for merger, I was assigned anti-infectives portfolio. Anti-infectives, that was the biggest portfolio for the company, accounting for greater almost 45-50% of the turnover, if not more, of the turnover of the company. And so it was another experience for me, another challenge to pick up opportunities. Then one of the brands in the portfolio were rarely promoted before we inherited it. And I remember then, my MD, when we took over, Mr. Olaopa told me that, look, Lekan, you are taking over augmenting. Now you need to prove to us that you're a good marketer. You have to turn augmenting into a blockbuster brand. That was the challenge he posed to me. He told me, we know you don't Zina self. No, but now, to prove your mental, you have to transform augmenting. And that was a challenge which I actually took up. And I'm happy that today augmenting is bigger than several companies in Nigeria. So, but it was a stint of hard work and a lot of effort to build the brand and get it on the right footing and the minds of the prescribers. Of course, the product is a big brand. So along that, there were so many other opportunities that came my way. I had the opportunity to move to South Africa for a short secondment. And by the time I was coming back, I became marketing director for the business. And along the line too, I was responsible for some portfolios across Sub-Saharan Africa, Disease of Developing World portfolio. I was assigned that commercial excellence, a part of the roles that I was responsible for. And I think things worked quickly after I became marketing director. I think within another 3 years or so, there was opportunity for the role of GM of GSK West Africa. Then GSK used to be West and Central Africa. The VP then, when he was leaving, saw the complexity of West and Central Africa, because basically a basket of English-speaking and French-speaking countries, very complex to manage. So he broke it into two, English-speaking and French-speaking. I competed for the English-speaking, and I was selected as a GM for GlaxoSmithKline English-speaking or Anglophone West Africa. And but it was a great experience, for the duration of my tenure. I spent 8 years in that role from 2016 to from 2008 to 2016, with distinct achievements both in the business, in human capital development, and impact on the society in terms of how GSK was able to impact the society where we operate, which is Nigeria and Ghana, largely then.
You were general manager, which is one of my peak interests while we are doing this. You were general manager for, that's about 8 years. So GSK, even at the time when you started your career, was probably, and up to now, is the biggest pharmaceutical company in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And also one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. So you had the opportunity to become GM. I know you weren't the only director at the time.
Yeah.
There were other, candidates who vied for the position of GM, which is the top position.
Yeah.
What do you think set you apart from your colleagues that got you the role?
Yeah, I think with due respect to my colleagues, everybody were all very good, very great guys. Anybody will have stepped into that role, as a matter of fact, and do a very good job. I think if I reflect on why I got the job, I think two things contributed to that. First is hard work. Hard work pays. I remember then, hard work, and the second one is availing yourself and taking advantage of every learning opportunity that comes your way. I remember then, I had no Saturday. Internet was not this great, as you can work offline, work from home, and all that. And my boss then, the VP, Madike Seye, used to assign so many things to me, outside of my portfolio. He would do this slide, work on this project for me, do this project for me. So for me, it would be at a conference somewhere, or workshop or meeting. He'll be waiting for my input into what he would like to present. These were things far beyond my portfolio, but I'll still stretch myself to make sure I present something good to him, so that he can present wherever he was at that time. So that was one. It was a lot of stretch for me, because on one hand, I had to do my job as a marketing director. On the other hand, I was doing almost the work of a chief of staff. Yeah? To do so many things. And in that role too, it exposed me to take up additional responsibilities. Most of the key projects in the company, one way or the other, I got involved. Local manufacturing, counterfeiting, human capital, career progression plan in the HR, and what have you. So many across different spaces within the organization. So many groundbreaking projects that were meant to reshape the organization. One way or the other, I was actively involved, playing one key role or the other if I wasn't leading it and all that. And, I think when we went for that selection, it was, at that level, the GM role was opened across the whole world in GSK. Even though you're on the succession line, it's not guaranteed that you get it because you have to fight for the shirt. You have to fight for the seat. My boss used to tell me that time that there's only one seat. It's not a bench. It's not a bench. It's only one person, So it was thrown open. But, at that level, when you go for the selection, they're not going to listen to your theory. And I think what played to my advantage was all these various projects that I've been involved in, doing them well, not only in marketing, in HR, in commercial, in regulatory, everywhere. And with the competence-based interview that typically would play out at that level, they'll be asking you practical questions. In this subject, what have you done? What do you know? So I didn't boil down to, you already have a candidate who's already doing most of the work a GM will do. We rather trust the business in his hands or give to somebody who will take 6 to 12 months to get to grasp to what is on the ground before he hits the ground running. I think that swayed the decision in my favor because at that time we had 1 or 2 people, even more senior than I and my colleagues in West Africa, that competed and they lost out. Not that they were not good, but I think they will look at, it will take, there's a learning curve. It will take 6 months to 12 months before these guys hit the ground running. I have somebody who's already doing it. He has direction where the company should go. So why risk giving it to somebody external? I think that worked in my favor, and I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
To my next question. So, of course, we worked together at the time. Yes. I particularly remember between 2009, if I'm not wrong, and 2011. I particularly remember that we achieved something, under your leadership. It's not very common. Maybe I'm just going to be very, just give a very ballpark figure. But I think the business at the time for the company was probably somewhere around $13 million. I mean, if you use today's exchange rate. And then we doubled that in 2 years. Under your leadership. So I just wanted to, you to share with us, what were some of the factors, or what were some of the things that, you did to get the company to such a remarkable achievement in such a short time?
Okay, so I love the Nigerian spirit, and whatever we achieved in that space of time, I give it the credit to the team I work with. I just provided the leadership, but it was all team work, and we were not caught unaware. Nigerians are very futuristic. They are very committed set of people. I think it all started when we decided, look, what can we do to this business? And I say, guys, you know what? We booked an hotel. We didn't sleep there. We went for a retreat, a one-day retreat. We went to one of the hotels in Lagos, the top management and some direct reports, and we brainstormed. Say, look at this business. What can we do? What can we not do better? And all that. Can we not grow this business? Okay, fine. And at the end of the day, we got a plan. We developed a plan, but we didn't put the plan forward. It was just brainstorming exercise, right? Then there was a leadership change at the regional level. We now had a senior vice president, Middle East and Africa, and he came on market visit. We started our typical presentation. After I presented, I said, look, guys, I'm not here for presentation. I'm not here for presentation. Tell me what we need to do to grow this business. You and your team, go and work it out. I'll give you 24 hours. I'll give you 24 hours. So the saving grace was we already had a plan, which we had not submitted as a business case to management for approval. So I think the crux of the business case was, look, you cannot continue to do things same way and expect a different result. We used quite a number of data sets to evaluate where potential lies and how we can tap those potentials. We realized that in terms of our footprint, the company has been using same set of reps, number of reps, from almost 20 years or 30 years. And when we look at our GDP data across, Nigeria, we could see that there are places that the income has gone up. There are places when you look at healthcare infrastructure and personnel, they are quite sizable and all that. And we looked at our portfolio. Are they fit for purpose for those areas? And we saw that, we actually have a fantastic portfolio. Some are for the main commercial, cities. Some we play well in some other towns and villages. So we are like tier 1, tier 2, what portfolio can play there. So within all that, we came out with a plan. And the SVP was blown off. He didn't realize we had worked with Yes, now. He just said, you mean you guys can bring up this plan within 24 hours? Wow, this is so fine. So we brought it, and initially we said we'll double the business within 1 year. He said, no, I'll give you 2 years. Don't worry, I'll give you 2 years. Let's do it within 2 years and what have you. So we invested, employed more reps, opened up more territories, and got the team to be in tune. So again, it was a great experience for me doing a turnaround during that period, because I realized that the buying of the workforce is very critical to the success of the project. So after we've written the plan, we set up several other committees across different departments, supply chain, HR, to come up with how they can tie into this aspiration. We already had the plan, and we knew whatever they were coming up will not be too different, but it gave them the ownership, the buy-in to be seen as we are part of this plan and not top down. So we did like a bit of bottom up, and they took ownership. We had metrics, how to track how we're winning in the various departments and what have you. So it was really great. But one critical aspect of it was the one of engagement and communication. We ensured that we created opportunity to update the entire workforce on progress, on the journey. In fact, we christened the project Yes We Can. We had t-shirts, face caps, it was pure branding, just to make sure everybody lined up to that aspiration, vision. It's projects Yes We Can, Yes We Can, Yes We Can. And I'm grateful to all the guys. We worked hard, and within about 2 years, we actually doubled the size of the business, and that sets the company on a high growth, momentum, trajectory.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I mean, I remember. I think one of the big things, just as you have said, is your ability to make everybody buy into the vision. I think that was very, very key.
Very key.
In addition to all the plans and expanding the field force, which was very clearly, very clear. I mean, resulting in that success. But I think for some reason we all believed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If people don't believe in it, then it's all it will fall flat. Yeah.
So my next question will be: I mean, there are many young professionals now working for pharmaceutical companies or other corporate organizations all over the place. And if you were to talk to some young people today who are looking to rise through the ranks like you did, from being a medical rep or a sales rep up to being GM, like what kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think it's possible if it could happen to me. I think it's possible. We still have some example of people who have gone through my patch and are already GMs now. But what is critical is hard work. Hard work is very important. So you have to stretch yourself and always deliver excellent results in your performance. That's number one. Number two is your values. Your value, you have to operate above board. You have to subscribe to and imbibe very great values of integrity, respect for people. There are quite a number of things that influence the decision at the end of the day. Because in most multinationals, they conduct what they call the succession plan, talent review and succession plan. And in those sessions, purely the GM and the direct reports, they review the key talents in the various departments. But it goes beyond just your head of department to be able to say positive things about you. I don't mean you have to be a politician, but you have to be visible in a way that you have the right character, the right behavior, and they can see you. People can feel you in the organization that, look, this guy is on the right trajectory, he's doing well, he's conducting himself or herself the right way. Because they do that review, and in that review, it shouldn't be just your HOD that is saying positive about you. Other HODs too must concur and agree. I won't become your advocate or champion at such meetings. It carries more weight that way, and so those are very important. Second one, it's these days you must, or like my own days, these days you have to take control of your career. You have to take control of your career. So you need to have the end in mind and see what level of exposures you really want, so that when you're doing your career development or you are doing your annual review with your manager, you'll be a bit specific in terms of some of the developments that you want that will place you in better, make you competitive in the future. If you need exposure in some other area, if you feel you have stay you have worked for some time in sales and you want to be in regulatory or business development or some offshore or exchange program, you don't be shy about it. You have to own your career development. In my own days, you don't own it. In fact, sometimes you'll be shy to say some of those things so that they don't see you as being a bit ambitious and aggressive. You understand me? But these days, because the competition is becoming stiffer, and they will look at your profile at the end of the day to see. They put profile by profile. So you must have the end in mind. In my own days, your career development, it's largely determined by your head of department, you discuss with you, you agree to whatever is recommended. But these days, because things are becoming increasingly competitive, I would advise each person takes control of your career development. If you know you want to become a GM after 10 years after your graduate entry, then you look at what are the roles, what are the competencies required of a GM. And each year, always have that discussion with your manager. Of course, you will be a high flyer. That's number one. I'm taking that one as given. Yeah. That you're already a performer. So that you're already a performer and that you have the right character. So when it comes to career development, it's not to now say, in fact, this year I'm going to shadow them in finance. And these are the learning opportunities I want in finance, because you don't want to become a GM and start struggling with interpreting, financial statements and knowing the rudiments of what goes on there. Or this 6 months, part of this year, I'm going to be in regulatory or be in supply chain, be in that and all that. So you must take control, because all those things are being documented, and for the multinational setting this time around, they compare profile for profile, they throw you into the deep blue sea, you compete with people all over the world. So there are no sentiments per se. There'll be sentiment just like 1 or 2%, You must prove yourself that you can match those coming from outside and exceed their performance before you are given that opportunity. So take control. That's what I'm saying. Career development is very important. Take control. Open yourself to learning opportunities. If you recall in my earlier narration about my career path, along the line, some of the missing parts, I filled them in through the special projects that I got involved in. You get me? Manufacturing, business development, legal, this, because you need, when you say you're a general manager.
Yeah, you need the broad.
Yeah, it's not that the legal department will tell you something and you take it whole and sinker and say, you say the right thing. Yeah, it can be, it's an authority, but you must have a kind of helicopter idea of what goes on there. Yeah. That's why you're a general manager. You must know little of every of the functional units. So you must have that breadth of experience across board. That's what is required. Not, even though you have experts working with you, but you must have a pre-informed opinion or thoughts of everything, every part of the business. Not that, I'm very deficient there. So whatever they tell me, that's what I take. At the end of the day, if things go wrong, it stops on your table. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. You were the GM in GSK for 8 years before you left. Now, I could call you the GM of Lefas Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about Lefas a little bit, but before we get into Lefas, I want to also ask you another question. We've all worked for multinational companies, pharmaceutical companies, corporate organizations, and there are many people who watch this who probably work for similar organizations. But one day you would have to leave.
Yeah.
You won't work there forever. Even if you rise to the rank of GM or vice president, you will leave. So I just wanted to ask, what would you say for younger colleagues who are going to leave the corporate world one day and probably be on their own? What kind of advice would you give them to prepare for life after corporate service?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is they say your network is your net worth. So you need to surround yourself with people who are like you or people who are even better than you, who can possibly impact you, who you can leverage. You can leverage each other, one another. And very, very critical, because when you leave all this, Those are the people that will give you the right advice, give you the soft landing, make it easy for you when you start off wherever, depending on whether you want to go your career to work for people, or you want to start up your own venture. So your network is your net worth. Is very important. I think the second one is, if you are work for multinational and you've really applied yourself in the multinational, I think the sky is your limit. Because most multinationals, I think I can say for GSK, it's a learning school, it's a uni on its own, where it's not about theory. Each day you renew your knowledge, your experience in different parts of you're always above, you are continuously developing yourself. I think you don't take those things for granted, because when you go out, you now see the huge gap in knowledge which people have, which you are able to amass over. Yeah, so that's very, very important. I think the third element is about finance, to be disciplined. So when you are paid in paid employment, or when you are in a certain role, always try to have a little savings or investments. Even if you want to change job, you still need those investments to keep you going for a little while before you get your next offer. So it is important that you take the right financial decisions about your life. Not when X amount comes in today, you leverage and spend X times 2, hoping that it will continue that way forever. It will not be. So you have to be extremely frugal and prudent with your finances and all that. I think those will weather you through once you are disciplined. Discipline your finances, discipline yourself, and all that. That will help you out. But whether you want to go to pick up another role in another company, or you want to become an entrepreneur, those are matters of detail, depending on where you are at the time you leave in the organization. I left GSK when I was about going to, I was like 49, thereabouts, thereabouts, and
which is quite young.
Yeah, which is quite young. But I spoke to my, it was young, and there are other offers. There are other offers, but they wouldn't be that attractive for me at that point in time. And as a matter of fact, the moment I opted out of GSK, I told one of my friends, who is now a partner in another venture, I said this, say, guy, I've gone through this. Don't look for another job. Here is this venture. I'll be looking at you all this while. That's why I say your network is your net worth. He said, look, I've been looking at you. I think we can do better if you face this venture and do it together and all that. And within a space of 2-3 weeks, we were up to South Korea for part of that deal. So what I'm saying is that the moment people surrounding me, and at that age, they say, look, you still come back to come and be, you are not Caucasian. So don't think you go to London or go to US and go and sit down there. Yeah? You still come back here. You still have to be part of this setting and all that. Since I didn't have opportunity to probably become VP somewhere and all that, it makes sense that rather than looking, because every business has a gestation period, rather than hopping from one job to the other, and since I have people that I think we are compatible, we have complementary skills, and there are big ideas on the table, that was why I was opted to. So it depends on the circumstance, whether you want to pick up role in another organization or whether you want to actually, start your own venture. Yeah.
All right. right, thank you very much. That was very insightful. So, so now I want to ask you about, just to tell us about Lefas Pharmaceuticals. Like, what's it about? What do you do? And I think you've already given us some insight into how you started it. But I would also like to know why you decided to start Lefas Pharmaceuticals as opposed to going to another job, as you said in the last.
Yeah. So okay, so I did not go for another job because if I was to remain in the pharma industry, most of these other companies, except it's a project, they are far smaller in size to GSK, and that would be more challenge for me, so to put it. Except it's like a project. Look, we want this company within 2-3 years to attain this, and like I did for GSK, give us a business case and help us to deliver this milestone up to here. But such offer did not come, and I can't get into that organization and start telling them, you have to go this direction. That would be part of the discussion at initial. And so that didn't come. Coupled with the fact that there were big ideas on the table. With some of my, close associates that said we need to pursue. So I'll say I started the first to see how part of the knowledge and experience that I've acquired over time can be transferable, make available to the, smaller companies and to the younger generation. That's why we have a consulting arm of the business. Okay? The second one is the commercials, and that is to look at products, quality products that are meeting the needs of Nigerians, to see short-term how we make them available via importation, medium to long-term to manufacture them locally. That's it. The third objective of forming Lefas is to use it as a vehicle to consummate partnerships with other like-minded organizations. So we have several partnerships with some other companies in manufacturing, especially, which I see in the works and all that. So that was what informed my forming, Lefas Pharmaceuticals. Because you need an identity. You're still going to go into partnership. You can't go, even though it's good to go as lekan, but you still sometimes you need your vehicle, an entity to enter into such a relationship and all that, yeah.
So what are the key services that you offer as Lefas right now?
So I told you, the first one is consultancy. So in the commercial space, whether you want any aspect of commercial operation, whether it's marketing, sales, we can deep dive to identify what are the issues within your organization, and we provide necessary strategy or solution, of course, working with the client. We also work on public health projects, to do that. As we speak, I sit on the board or as a member of some of the leading consultancy companies, global consultancy companies, where I'm a council member, and cases that require expertise in Africa, West Africa, or Nigeria are really fitting to address that. So we do pretty much that. We offer regulatory services, advice to companies that want to make inroads into Nigeria on regulatory and on commercial basis, offer the right advice, give them the blueprint on how best they can make their, market entry decisions, and what portfolio they should offer and what have you. We do all that on the consultancy basis. Still on the consultancy, we identify gaps in the in terms of availability and adoption of technology innovations in the industry. So we have some of those technologies available, either for creating awareness or for regulatory purposes, for audit purposes, and what have you. Those are the things we do under consultancy. But for the commercial, we have a full team on the field that promotes our products. So we play in stomach health, and in stomach health we have products for constipation, diarrhea, heartburn. It's a full basket. We have that. We play in vitamins. We play in vitamins. We have a full range of vitamins. About 9 of them. Yeah, 9 precisely. Yeah, we play in vitamins. We play in malaria. So we have anti-malaria. We have mosquito nets, for malaria. As part of the stomach health, apart from constipation, diarrhea that I mentioned, we also have products for heartburn, indigestion, as I earlier mentioned, and all that. We also have anti-infectives. This is a big range, but that we're taking our time to launch big because from my experience, you need a lot of muscle to challenge the market leader. Otherwise, you. So we're taking our time, starting from where we believe there are gaps, and the players there we can challenge them, and building the right muscle. Then we know our core strength in anti-infectives, then we go for it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. So, this will be my last question.
Okay.
Just on the lighter note, you started your career as a medical rep or sales rep, and back then, there's this notion that sales reps used to make a lot of money in the field.
Yeah.
So I know, I'm sure you agree that things are a little bit different now.
Yeah,
Maybe
sure.
not that the opportunities are there, but definitely not as it was back then. Do you have any interesting story that you want to share with us? An interesting experience as a
So I, when you say, the function has been separated in most companies now. Then a rep is responsible for demand generation and demand fulfillment. So you go and detail and sell the products and what have you. So it comes with its pros and cons, On one hand, you can say you are making money and spending and running into serious debt that you cannot even pay back if you are not disciplined. Because you are expecting certain profit, you've taken it today and all that. So that was what was the model that was running then, and it opened the opportunity for people to make money. But you cannot make money, even then, you cannot make money if you are not a good rep. Because there must be, generating demand for your product is a prerequisite. If your product is not well known, it's not being prescribed, so how are you going to make the money? You can't make the money because nobody wants to buy the product and all that. I think then we made our own money in a very ethical way, in 2 ways. We had generous incentives then. Incentives that are based on sometimes number of packs that you sell. Number of packs that you sell. So the more you sell, the more you can get on some products. Even with 10 naira, it all adds up at the end of the day. So number 2 is short-dated. Yes, if a product is short-dated and because it's invoiced to you, and you have people who are willing to use now. Of course, that means the demand is there. If the demand is not there, even if you have short-dated products, you cannot make any money.
Just for the knowledge of the audience, so these short-dated products
are near expiry
discounted.
Are discounted.
Yeah.
They are discounted.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then there was nothing unethical to say you have to pass all the discount to whoever wants to buy. Because then you don't need, the distributor knows what discount. But if you have people who are prescribing, if you have a lot of people who are end users and they are seeing it cheaper than what they would have bought somewhere else and they can use it. So it was a win-win situation. I would have bought this product for 10 naira. Maybe it was discounted to 5 naira. But you are selling at about 6 naira or 7 naira. But the guy wants to use, despite all that, we still sell it at that 10 naira because he's the end user.
Yeah.
You know, see, you understand me? He's the end user. He will still sell it at that price. So it was a win-win. But I think those were very exciting times because the motivation is that if you work hard, the prescription is there. You can, you can make more money. And the other legitimate way they make money then is sometimes distributor will tell you, look, it's your company that is forcing me to become your distributor. If you order the goods, it's you that will go and sell and return the money. I'll return the money back to the office and I'll get my, what they call commission on turnover. So then it was legitimate for you when you go to the second tier, which are the retail outlets, to sell at pharmacy price. It was legitimate. Yeah, because I didn't want taking all the trouble. The distributor doesn't want to take any trouble at all. It was, oh, look, you just go and sell, bring the money. When you bring the money, company goes to the company, and the company then, they have a reward system based on turnover for most distributors. So I take my COT, commission on turnover. That's it. But despite that, in my time, people were still very greedy. Instead of selling at pharmacy price, they used to say what they call super chemist price. See, put it anyway. Some people they deserve it because there are some people that the rep sells to 2-3 months down the line, they have not even paid. Some will not even ever pay. So there's a trade-off in all this because at the end of the day, the distributor wants his or her money to be complete. Otherwise, we tell the company, this man, the distributor, the money is not complete. So part of what the rep feels he has made as profit, he has to make up for the shortfall or those who are likely.
So even then, the company was not meant to know that you were redistributing.
It was legit.
Oh, it was legit then?
Yeah, no, there was nothing now. You understand me?
Yeah.
There was nothing against you selling a pharmacy price. Okay. You call it redistribution. Okay. But ideally, is the guy that should have gone to do the redistribution. Yeah. Is the distributor. Yeah. But the distributor doesn't want. In fact, sometimes the retailers will not want to buy from the distributor. They will say, are we not the same thing? Why should I go to him to buy? But it's you as a rep, they still see it as the goods coming from the company. But in the books is the distributor that is on it. So there has to be somebody who tidies up that link and all that. So that's it. And it's on the price list. There's nothing that is not legitimate about it. So you see the price list, you see the distributor's price, you see the pharmacy price, you see institutional price and what have you. So it's just working in line with the prescribed pricing regime then. It's tiered into wholesale or distributor, pharmacy. There was nothing like it's not legit. You know now you can't even pay COT. You can't even reward anybody. You can't do that. So,
so I mean, I know that was my last question, but your answer just made me think more. Because the way the profession has evolved, I mean, back then, because now you have key account managers, you have sales reps, you have the distributor, you have the distributor rep. Yeah. So everything that one person was doing back then, even up to signing contracts, bringing customers on board. So many people, it's so, there's a division of labor now that exists, so it's a little bit more complex. But looking at the role of a sales rep or medical rep, like what do you see happening to that role in the next 10, maybe 10, 15 years in the industry?
I think the major disruptor we have, they still be relevant, but it's just that the type of job they be doing may be slightly different. You get me? Because the changes that is happening now is phenomenal, especially with technology. You know, with technology. So if people you are going to meet are already technology savvy, they know where they can seek the information. You can meet them online, you can do so many things with them online. Yeah. But why do you need to deploy same level of resource on face-to-face? It will be very, it's very uneconomical, you know, to do that. And increasingly, the doctors too, they are getting impatient about giving reps quality time to see. So there'll be a whole lot of transformations. I see people becoming more of key accounts or key something. This face-to-face will be minimized. And I think people are learning from this COVID. Exactly. This COVID experience has taught people that things can be done in a more efficient way, leveraging technology digitally. So that's a huge disruptor, but it's equally creating opportunities, because you still need to map these doctors. You still need somebody that will either stay online or follow up this. You get me? It's not that the job will disappear, but it's going to really change in terms of the actual activities that they need to carry out. I think it will be redefined, because as you have automation and robotics disrupting the manufacturing, so with technology, digital platform disrupt face-to-face engagement, information dissemination.
Okay, thank you. That was very interesting. Thank you very much, sir.
Pleasure.